recycling.
And I call the member for Goldstein.
Thank you, Speaker. I move the motion relating to waste and recycling in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper. Thank you. Thank you, Speaker. It's a great privilege to be able to move this motion in this chamber because, as you and I and other members in this chamber know, one of the foundation pillars of being a Liberal is a sense of responsibility to ourselves and to each other, as well as to our environment, to steward it to future generations. And a critical part of this is the challenges of waste and resource management. In fact, one of the reasons why I am a free marketeer is because I believe in the efficient use of the world's scarce resources, and the way to do that is through the utilisation and repurposing as part of an economy, a circular economy, waste, and making it valuable so that people want to use it and reuse it and not diminish the world's scarce resources needlessly. And part of the challenge from doing so is making sure that government measures are there to support and incentivise the efficient use of the world's scarce resources, repurpose them, reuse them, and make sure they have a continued life and value add to the Australian community and economy, and stop the diminishment of other resources into the future. And that's why this Commonwealth Government has taken such a strong priority, the Morrison Government, on Australia's waste and recycling industries, and particularly, of course, not just from the leadership of the Prime Minister, but the Assistant Minister for the Environment, the member for Brisbane, who has made this a core part of his work, and we congratulate him as well for his contribution. Australia currently generates 2.94 million tonnes of waste each year. 60% is recycled, the rest is thrown away. It ends up in landfills or is sent overseas, or often burnt or ends up in our ocean. Plastic pollution is choking our precious waterways. In just 30 years' time, there will be more plastic than fish in our oceans. And this is why we are so strongly committed to practical pathways that address recycling and reduce the amount of waste that goes into the ocean, including through the billion-dollar transformation of our waste and recycling industry, which includes $190 million for the Recycling Modernisation Fund to leverage over $600 million of recycling infrastructure to sort, process and manufacture waste materials. As many members will know, that previously Australia, as many countries have done, is to simply export their waste for a fee, and now we are taking responsibility as we should. $100 million to an Australian Recycling Investment Fund for projects using clean energy technologies to support recycling, $49.4 million to help halve Australia's food waste by 2030. And I know that my own local councils, Bayside and Glen Eira, have invested significantly in what they call FOGO to make sure there's a reduction in the use of waste, including the regularised pickup, I understand, from next year of recycled waste, and where landfill waste will be reduced to every second week to try and incentivise and encourage households to do the right thing. We have a National Waste Policy Action Plan to reduce waste, increase recycling rates and build capacity in our domestic recycling industry, including $59.6 million to the National Waste Policy Action Plan from the Commonwealth to improve our waste data and implement the waste export ban, because if you know the nature of the problem, you can help fix it. $7.8 million on product stewardship for oil, a world-leading ban on the export of waste, plastic, paper, glass and tyres, $20 million for projects to reduce plastic waste and boost plastic recycling. At every point, Speaker, what we're implementing are practical plans that will improve the recycling and waste management industries in this country as part of a broader framework of our environmental agenda to make sure that we're not just talking the rhetoric, but we're delivering in community across our states and, of course, across the Commonwealth. But we should also celebrate those people who see the opportunity and seize it, not just to take responsibility, though that is a critical part of the conversation and something that we can all do, but to see how there's opportunity in waste management and recycling. Companies like Summerside, which was founded by Gabby Semkova, who I've spoken about previously in this chamber, a 27-year-old Brighton local who creates towels used from the recycling of plastic bottles. Each towel contains around 14 used plastic bottles that would otherwise have gone into landfill, and it's stories like Gabby's that highlight how enterprise can be utilised off the back of recycling to repurpose a circular economy and reduce waste. Companies like Copper Rock Waste and Recycling Centre that's based in Cheltenham. It's owned by John, who began his stint in the industry 23 years ago working as a skip truck driver. They have an enormous amount of experience working with local soccer clubs and community organisations to reduce their waste footprint. Thank you, Speaker.